Hey, what is going on, everybody? Don Martino here to talk about this insane finale for She-Hulk with Mr. Jose Espinel. Once again, Jose, how are you doing? It's great to have you back.
Yeah, it's great to be here. A lot to talk about, and I'm just ready to get into it here with you.
Yeah, it's really kind of impossible to not have something to say about this finale, honestly. I mean, I'm going to start there because this is one of the craziest finales ever. And to its credit, it definitely took me on a wild ride, and it was an insane finale and ambitious in some ways, honestly, and I can't take that away from this episode. So the opening is great, by the way, because it paid tribute to the Lou Ferrigno Incredible Hulk series, and I loved that. I was like, oh my gosh, that is awesome. It was a great way to start, and it actually gives you all the filling of the gaps between, you know, what happened between the last episode and this one in a really cool way like that. And I was like, yeah, that actually really fits this show. It fit what this show's kind of all about, kind of doing like crazy experimental kind of goofy things like that. And so I was all on board with that. And then what happens is the plot really starts to get messy, and then you kind of find out, because, you know, Jennifer kind of starts breaking that fourth wall, like, what the hell is going on? This is a mess, because everybody's showing up, right? Hulk, Titania, Pete's in there, and he's like the intelligentsia or something like that. That organization.
Yeah,
he's like leading that organization.
My guy's turned into a fucking Hulk himself.
Yeah, and everybody but Daredevil showing up in this one moment, pretty much. I mean, really, because and it's a real mess. It doesn't make any sense. And then you kind of find out like it's kind of done that way on purpose, because what happens is, and this fooled me, they go to that Disney Plus menu screen, and it got me. Right. I won't lie to you. I was actually kind of freaking out because I couldn't find my remote. I was like, where in the hell did my remote go? And it really, really worked. And so I enjoyed that a lot. I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, by the time you saw Jen kind of knocking on her little She-Hulk thumbnail and carving it out and then coming out of it, like, I was like, okay, this works. This fits the show. And all of that is respectable. I enjoyed that risk. And then her crawling out of it and walking it, which makes a lot of sense for what they were going for, going into the assembled thumbnail.
Yeah, it was really cool. She's like,
I thought that was great.
Looking at, you know, where's like Shang-Chi, Captain Marvel, assembled, and she just like breaks the thing and just like jumps into it. It was really cool.
Yeah, and then they go full blazing saddles with this thing, because then they really commit to breaking the fourth wall here, and they go behind the scenes. She goes into the Disney lot, goes into the writer's room, and I thought this stuff was funny. So she's talking with the writers, and they're like, and she wants to talk to Kevin. They're like, this is what Kevin wants, and she's like, I want to talk to Kevin. I love the whatever guy said, like, nobody talks to Kevin or something like that. It was very funny. And we all know
I'd murder you for Kevin.
Exactly. And we all know, as inside baseball guys, they're referring to Kevin Feige. That's who they're referencing, obviously. And I'm like, oh shit, is Kevin Feige actually get a cameo in a Marvel thing finally?
I honestly thought I was about to see Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was so excited, and then when I saw the outcome, I was like kind of pissed, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, I can accept it.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, she kind of goes down, she has to sign the NDA, and the guy hits the alarm anyway, and she's like, what'd you do that for?
She whoops their ass.
Right. I like though the joke, because she was like, what'd you do that for? Why'd you have me sign an NDA if you were just gonna do that? And everybody has to sign an NDA. It's like, it doesn't matter who you are, and that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
It's kind of on par. But then she goes down, you're right, she's taking out everybody, kicking everybody's ass.
I'm pretty sure it was to a Megan Thee Stallion song that she was.
That's right. That's right. That as well. You're not wrong. It was the Megan Thee Stallion song.
Because of course, as you remember, she cameoed in an episode.
Right, which was a good reference. You know.
Yeah.
It's bringing back everything. Honestly, it actually that's one thing I'm gonna commend. It brought forth all the elements that had come before it, and like brought it all in. And I was perfectly okay with that. So then she gets into the thing, and you see the big Marvel screens, which I thought was awesome, because we always see Kevin Feige standing in front of those when he's doing a presentation, right? And I was like, okay, here comes Feige, and it's the robot, and I was very thrown off. But I thought that was funny when the robot was called Kevin. Like, I was thrown off, but I thought it was funny.
It was pretty funny.
So here's where I'm at. They have this conversation, and basically what I liked about this a lot was that it's in a very inadvertent way, like it actually addresses real issues right now with the Marvel Cinematic Universe that people have, and it acknowledges those issues. Like, it really does. And it's almost like, hey guys, we got your back. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually kind of compelling in a weird way. So I loved all that, but it addresses the issues of kind of having plot holes and things like that.
And how all the superheroes have daddy issues.
Yeah, but by
That was-
taking the time, which was a funny bit, by the way, because when she was, Star-Lord has 2 daddy issues or something like that. That was
2 daddies and 2 issues.
Yeah, 2 daddies, 2 issues. And Tatiana Maslany was fantastic in this episode. Like her delivery and everything was working for me very well. And all the exchange was different, but I really enjoyed it at the same time. Like I was like, okay, this is actually kind of an interesting route. My problem is like by taking the time to acknowledge the problems of the MCU, they actually ended up, I think, creating more problems with this episode overall than anything else. Because what ended up actually coming out of this were more plot holes, less time to wrap up the show, and honestly, a little bit of a rushed ending. They kind of shot themselves in the foot. That was my take on it, because they did take the time to acknowledge it, which again, would have been cool in a better finale. I actually think the better route to go would have been like a ha, this isn't going to be the actual finale. Tune in next week for the, real finale.
Right.
Then I would have been so impressed. But they really tried to wrap it up in a small amount of time. So basically she takes out Bruce and then she wants Pete to just realize what he did.
And Emil Blonsky as well.
And Emil, right. You get back there and then Titania's still there. You just address the issues of the MCU, but you didn't take Titania out? Why? Why did she have to be there? She didn't. Right. And it made no sense in the first place. Yeah. So if you were going to if you were trying to fix the episode, it's such an odd conversation we're having right now. If the character of She-Hulk was trying to fix her show, then she would have taken out Titania as well. And Daredevil would not have shown up last minute because none of that made sense. While I thought he was good in the episode, none of it made any sense still. I agree. Marvel tends to use cameos as a crutch. So I get what they were going for there with taking out the cameos. But we ended up getting something worse at the end of the day. Like with the actual wrap up of the story. And I don't know if it was supposed to be a message of, hey, without the cameos, it's just going to be weak. Maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know, man, because then you're kind of admitting to not being able to come up with original content. If that's what you were trying to get across, because that was my only theory, is like, were they trying to send a message to people who hate all the fan service and cameos that like without them we wouldn't really have anything compelling? Was that the message? But again, if you're doing that, you're not doing yourself any favors again, because you're just saying you can't come up with an original story to wrap this up. And I think that's kind of ridiculous. And not to mention you got another cameo anyway with Matt Murdock, so none of that makes sense. Like everything that you just fought against you did anyway, and made it even worse than what we were already kind of getting there. So I didn't really understand that. I mean, I don't know, what was your take on all of it?
No, man, you've really nailed it, man. I mean, like, Marvel recently has had problems, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of their movies and shows they're good, don't get me wrong. It's just
right.
They just really haven't hit.
Haven't been great.
Like you said, the problems that they're addressing and want to fix, in a way they're not. Like, they're trying to, but at the same time, they're trying to fix it by putting in the mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. It's weird, and I don't get where Marvel's head's at right now.
Yeah, it was like a weird thing of, we know what we're doing wrong, but we're just gonna keep doing it anyway. That was almost the message. Like, I was expecting it to be like, because I loved everything leading up to when she actually got back into her own show. Like, everything was great. I didn't mind the fourth wall break. I love the extra commitment to it, actually. But then you get back and it's like, well, we're really in no better spot than we were. So it did nothing. It did honestly nothing. I mean, I don't know if they thought Daredevil was going to be enough to make up for it, but then it just contradicts everything he just went over. So I don't understand what that was. That's all I'm saying. Like, I think it felt kind of flat there at the end, and I hated the, oh, by the way, Hulk's got a son now.
Yeah, the ending. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, he has a son called Scar.
Yeah, and I could accept it that he had a son out in space and that's why he was there, but why did you rush through it?
We didn't get any explanation about anything that he was doing.
Not to mention, you erase Hulk, but here's Hulk anyway. So what was the whole idea? Like, I was just trying to figure out. I don't understand the message of what that was supposed to be. That's all I'm trying to say. I understand it if you ended it differently, then I understand it. Because I really thought they were about to go, haha, that's not the real finale type deal. We're going to give you a better one next week. Like, it's a twist, you know, like you get one more episode.
It seems to me as though Jen's father was hinting at Matt Murdock and Jen having kids.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Which, by the way, I like their chemistry still. I thought the Matt Murdock stuff still played really well. I think he plays well in the show. Every time he's on the screen, he elevates the material. He's just that good.
Him and Tatiana,
right?
They just have
they're just that good
chemistry together.
Yeah, and
they are.
And I bought the situation of the barbecue or whatever. Like, I bought the situation because of the way it was being played. What I didn't buy was Hulk jumping in last minute. Hey, you got a son. What I didn't buy was Daredevil just being in the show in the first place, or just coming right back like that. I don't know what happened. I know this is the multiverse saga, so there still could be some shenanigans going on there, but I don't know. Like, that could be part of it.
I mean, shit. Matt Murdock could be in. It could have just shown up because he missed Jen, and he just wanted to spend some more time with her.
Maybe, but it's like
that's why he's there. I mean, I'm just trying to find anything. You know?
I know. I hear you, because I was trying to wrap my head around it all day.
I'm just trying to get into Kevin Feige and Marvel's head and see why the hell they've done what they've done with this finale.
100%.
And he did say that he was only going to be there for a week, which begs the question. Also, because Jen's father also mentioned that he, asked, he's like, oh, so you have your own private practice, right? That almost makes me think that Jen is most likely going to go and start working for Matt Murdock.
Maybe.
Since now she's...
Yeah.
Maybe because she likes him so... I mean, granted, she did get her old job back, but it almost makes me wonder if, she's going to want to go work for him to be closer.
I really want them to fix her CGI if they're gonna put her in Daredevil, though.
Look, it's gonna take time. Look, I mean, yes, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is good, but that's only because we've had him for so long. It's gonna take time.
I don't know, man. I don't hate everything. I thought there was a lot of respectable stuff in this. Like, I actually really good experimental, respectable stuff. I did love the commitment to the fourth wall break, but I just didn't like how it all paid off. Once it all kind of paid off.
No, I totally agree.
That was just the strangest payoff, honestly. And like, I don't mind things feeling kind of strange in this multiverse saga. Like, I'm actually more for that. But on the same hand, like, are we going to really be waiting like 2 years till season 2 or something to get more answers about what this all was kind of trying to be, or what? Because that, I don't know, as a season, I have to grade it as a kind of a season. I just didn't think it really paid off again. Like, because I thought at first they did a great job of bringing in everybody and bringing everything forth, and the fourth wall break helped that until the end. I just don't understand what it was. Strange in a way of like, I just can't process the message of it or what the moral was supposed to be.
That's for Marvel to know enough to find out.
I don't know, man. Or it might not even be any deeper than we're thinking about it, but like, they might have actually just fucked up, because that's the other possibility. There might not be any deeper hidden meaning to it. They just might have actually screwed it up. I'm baffled if it's that, but I really am baffled by the decision of this ending. Man, I don't know. You're right. It's for them to know and us to find out, I guess, at this point. I've been trying to wrap my head around this episode all day, so I was really interested in your take because I don't know how to feel about it.
I mean, not many words to describe this, really. I mean, it's just...
Yeah.
It's a weird one, because it's like, there's, like we've said, there's parts that we liked, and then there's also parts we didn't. I mean, this episode, like you said again, isn't really, in my opinion, that good of a finale. I feel like they could have gone one more episode and actually done a great finale, because like you said, this is almost like setting up a finale. We could have gotten one more episode explaining more stuff and then actually wrapping it up. This one just felt like just one of those regular episodes in a season. It didn't really feel like a finale to me. I feel like we could have gotten one more episode kind of explaining more stuff.
Yeah, I do too. Or just like do the haha. Big twist. They pull Sandman, and they give us another episode or two or something. Like, really, though, that's what Sandman did, right? It was like, hey, here's a couple more. So, I don't know. I thought that's where they were going to go, honestly. And who knows? Maybe we flip on Disney Plus next week. It's like She-Hulk episode 10, and we're like, oh, wow. But
yeah, imagine.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to take away, like, I don't mind the concept of Hulk having a son. I just don't like how it was introduced. It's not the concept of it overall. It was just the introduction of that.
Because my guy was like, oh, yeah, I'm back. Oh, oh, by the way, I have a
Yeah,
son.
it was really like, oh yeah, by the way, and you had a whole half hour and just used it for the experimental stuff that you were trying to do, and just kind of forgot that you still had to pay it all off. You know what I mean? It felt, it really just kind of felt like they forgot that, you know, they had to pay it all off in that runtime. I'm actually getting really tired of these shows just kind of forgetting that it's a 9-episode show, man. I mean, he has so much time to flesh all this out. You would think at this point there shouldn't have been an issue with fleshing it out and it feeling rushed, because there's 9 episodes.
I feel like for this finale, they should have just ended it. Well, actually, they shouldn't have put the Hulk stuff. If this was gonna be the finale, you shouldn't have put that part with Hulk in there. So I feel like
leave it for something else.
I was gonna say now we have so many questions. All right, where exactly was the Hulk? Who was the mother?
Yeah.
What was he doing all this time? Like you've put this in here, and now we have so many questions that we want answered, and I feel like we're not gonna get answers for a very long time.
Yeah.
If you put this somewhere later, and then answer it at the same time, then it works better.
Yeah.
So you just threw it in there. Now we're not gonna get answers for a very long time.
And I thought like him going to space was like a real good setup for like a solo Hulk movie, which I guess you could still technically do if you want to do one and show the in-between time and how he got to his son and all that. You can still do that and fix that problem if you want to. I just like I like the idea of not knowing that too at the same time, like not knowing the son. I mean, it was a choice, you know. It was a choice, and they made it and showed it there.
Now that I was gonna say, now that we know he has a son, we kind of need answers. So I feel like
now you should do a solo Hulk movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, explaining everything that happened from when he left to when he came back.
Absolutely, that would be. I feel like now I really want it, but now the problem is because you showed the son. Now I want it for the wrong reasons. You know, I like
we want it. We want it because
because you screwed up. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's I don't like that. The reason we want it for when he was just going to space and then we had no idea why. That was like. It left so much ambiguity on the table that you were kind of begging for a Hulk movie, you know. I'm gonna let this all sink in, and I'm probably gonna do a full retrospective on the whole season at some point, but not right now, because I really do need to let it sink in, and I don't know how I would grade the season yet. I really do, because there's just so much. Obviously I had a lot of issues with the season, but there was a lot I really liked as well. So I'm not dissing the whole thing. I'm just baffled by the ending. That's kind of where I'm at. So
and then the end credit scene. I mean, where Wong just comes and takes Emil Blonsky from his cell, and he basically moves to Hermitage.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I like that. That was a good setup too.
Is it Wi-Fi? Yeah.
Oh, let me ask you though, was that going back, or was that something that was being set up, or was that going back to Shang-Chi time period, or were they just showing that then? Because I don't know.
I think that was in this most recent time when he just went. Remember, because he had to go back to jail for 10 years.
True.
For switching back and forth from Emil to Abomination. I think that
I would think, but
I was gonna say I think that's present day now.
Yeah.
He's in jail. Oh, maybe not. Maybe this was a.
Maybe it was the flashback to Shang-Chi. They weren't clear on that.
Yeah, maybe it was. Who knows? I mean, I honestly have no clue.
Yeah. I really love Tim Roth in the episode, by the way, as Emil. I think
slash Abomination.
He's another one that actually I think elevates the material a little bit, like
because you could tell as Abomination that he is a nice guy, because he literally was saving Jen from intelligentsia.
Yeah, I still find a little plot hole there, because wasn't the whole thing that he couldn't take on Abomination, like with that persona though? Because I thought there was that whole thing.
No, he couldn't, but he decided to do it anyways. I don't know how the government didn't find out that he was changing.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because he didn't have the ankle thing on anymore. He's obviously taking it off, and it has been transforming into Abomination a bunch of times already. How the government didn't know? No fucking clue.
Yeah, true. I have no idea.
and
see, things like that, just they weren't clear about.
How the government didn't do anything to. Well, I guess it's because when she came back, they didn't notice that she had taken her thing off and turned into She-Hulk.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything about it, but then I guess when she came back, he was also getting arrested because he was intelligentsia. I don't know. It's all just questions everywhere. Honestly, it was a weird one.
All right, look, guys, that was our thoughts on this. Let us know what you thought. Again, I think we're just kind of torn, both of us. It sounds like, anyways, the verdict on this. We're definitely torn. And yeah, so let us know what you thought of the finale. How'd you like the season overall? How'd it play for you once it was all said and done? I'm sure there's some people that really just were okay with this and loved it, and that's fine. I hope you did. Honestly, I really wanted to, and just torn. So, all right, guys, look, before we get going here, help us out. Hit that like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit that bell for notifications. And before we go, Jose, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on all socials at Type 1 Latino, all lowercase all together, and on Twitch and YouTube.
All right, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dom_Martino_, and on Instagram, Dom_Martino_official. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I will talk to you guys later.